Sadvaita, Sarvadutta, Parijana, Adhitam, Krishna, Chaitanya, Devi, Tirada, Krishna, Pada, Saha, Ganalavata, Vishaka, Deekam, E Krishna, Karuna, Sindhu, Dina Bandhu, Jagatpati, Gopesha, Gopika, Kanta, Radha, Kanta, Namaste, Tapta Kanchana, Gauranga, Radhe Vrindavani Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Vanchakalpataruta Aditana Pavanadyo Vaishnavyo Namo Pandisi Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahoditu Badadaya Pushpavantu Chitana Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasudeva Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityananda Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirbhasesa Samyavadi Paschachadi Sakali. So, again, we'd like to welcome everyone for taking time out of your busy schedule to come to participate in this Sangha. Because you could have gone to Disneyland, but you choose to come to the real Disneyland.
Open like this.
Because
Like
the
this.
people have choices, and especially
this
during the
loudly.
weekend,
And do
today is
like this.
Friday evening, people are busy with different adventures because after going through
Like this.
a whole week's
Like
stressful
this.
helter and skelter and
This
running around
one.
with jobs and taking care of family.
Like this. Two.
During the weekend, people want to go to a place to relax and just try to forget about the hostels and bustles of the city.
Two. This. Two. Okay.
But you're choosing to come to have your relaxation in association of devotees, choosing to spend your time meaningfully in hearing about the holy names, which is the medicine. Thank you. I need it more than anything else. So, everybody who shows up is not by an accident. It's by divine arrangement that all of you are here. And so take advantage of the Sangha and create good relationships. It's not just coming together and then going away. The idea is to be able to create some devotional relationships. Because when people come to our programs and we don't create a good relationship with them, they hardly will come back. The probability of their coming back is 1 infinity. It means most unlikely. Therefore, relationship is so important because then the person is called up. And when people come to our programs, we should try to be very personal, get their contact information so that we get them invited again to come. And you don't see them for the next program. You call to find out how they're doing, whether they have some obstacles. In most cases, we don't really care about what our devotees are doing. And people don't feel loved, they don't also come to our programs. So this is the month of Kartik, and we should be in a mood of taking vows to creating sustainable relationships in our devotional communities. We're talking about loving Krishna, but if we don't love each other, there's no question of loving Krishna. Charity begins at home. We can't say we love the state or love the government. There is always a big fight at home.
Smell like this.
So this month is Kartik month, and there are many activities this month. There is Govardhan Puja. The lighting of lamps is the most important, most predominant event for this month. And there are other activities celebrating this very auspicious month, like the killing of Aristasura. And for us, for instance, we need to have some understanding about the foundation, the background of this whole thing called Kartik. In the Skanda Purana, there is a story, and sometimes it's so misleading to people, especially people who are searching for the truth, that these days you find that the Vedic literature are being characterized as mythology, Indian mythology, which is saddening, because mythology is something that does not exist. It's like a fictional literature, a fiction. You imagine some characters and write a book. There might be very nice stories, but it's a fiction. I don't read fiction. I've never been interested in reading fictions, even right from my childhood. And this is something that is created by some man, some person, based on their imagination, they create the characters and just to make themselves authors to sell books and get money. So the Vedic literatures are not Indian mythology. They are real events that transpired in the universe, on this planet. And so we have to take these leelas seriously. So talking about Kartik, Satyabhama is one of the 8 wives of Lord Krishna. Sometimes people hear about Krishna having 16,108 wives. And then they say, oh, that's a good one. I should also have more than one wife. But even one wife is so difficult to maintain. Can someone do this recording? Maybe audio or something?
I'm recording.
Okay. It's okay. So I remember, I was born in Africa, or I got to know the devotees in Africa. I joined in Africa before I was invited by political science professors in Georgia to come for presentations. And that's how I ended up being in America and became a citizen. But originally I was actually born in Africa. So I remember when I was in Africa, when I was a young devotee in Africa, I was temple president. And, the guests, they used to come. So many young people used to come as guests. And at that time we have many very attractive, beautiful brahmacharinis in the temple. So wherever there are beautiful women, men are attractive. Is it not correct? So there are these men who used to come. They say they're life members. So there was this young man. I got a report from one of the devotees that this man was chasing after the female devotees. And so I called him over to my office. At the time I was the temple president. I called him over to my office and asked him, why is he doing this? Because this is the temple. Why is he coming to pursue sex here? You know what he told me? He said that Krishna also had many girlfriends. So people want to imitate Krishna, but Krishna lifted Govardhan here
What I draw?
with his pinky finger, left pinky finger. Now I wonder if someone is able to even hold, say, a big mango fruit on your pinky finger, on one leg, for even 2 hours. 2 hours, not 7 days. Can anybody here do that? So we like to take things very cheaply. So talking about Kartik, one of the 8 principal wives of Lord Krishna was Satyabhama. And so one time Satyabhama asked Lord Krishna, what is it that I did? What is my merit
Happy.
that I became your favorite? Huh? When the man is very favorable to the wife wonders, what do you mean? What is going on? What is it that I'm doing that makes it? So Satyabhama was also like that. Oh yeah. She asked, what is it that you are so much attached to me, you're attracted to me? What makes you love me like this? Did I do something that I merit this? So Krishna said, yes, you did. You did something that merited this. So Krishna recounted this is a letter that is documented by Srila Vyasadeva in his Skanda Purana. So you could verify this out. I like making references because as a scholar, we talk and make references. We don't just make fictions and tell stories. So Krishna said, yes, you did. You performed some high pious merit in your previous life. Krishna narrated that Satyabhama was the daughter of a Gurukula teacher. His name was Devashama. And Devashama, he didn't have a child until in his late years of life, before he got a daughter called Gunawati.
8, 9, 10.
And then a man is very protective to, especially their girl child.
13, 14.
So he wanted to marry her to someone reliable. And he didn't find anyone reliable other than one of his students who he knew his character from A to Z. These days, people give out their children to people to marry. They don't know anything about them. They don't make any investigations. But people are becoming wiser these days. Remember the case of this lady in Detroit. So when I was in Detroit some years ago, the daughter and mother, they were coming to cook for me. And then the daughter was trying to get married to one guy, and I know that guy very well. Daughter was at the time doing her PhD. So the mom came to ask me, hey, Maharaj, do you know such a guy? I said, yes, I know. I said, without even prompting me, I said, glorifying the guy. This is what devotees do, in most cases. I said, glorifying the guy, he's a very rich guy, and, he came from a very rich family, and all this stuff. And then the mother said, Maharaj, it's not about riches. Can this guy take my daughter back home, back to Godhead? Women are becoming wise these days, okay? Yeah. So, Gunawati's father was very critical, was very meticulous about who to give his daughter away to marriage. He didn't find anybody other than one of his students whom he trusted from A to Z. So he gave this daughter out, Gunawati, out for marriage. His husband's name was Chandra. And then Chandra and Devashama, they went into the forest to fetch some pussy grass and other things because he was a Gurukul, a Brahmin, and they have gone to the forest to fetch some crystal grass and other things for sacrificial activities, sacrificial performances. But then they got killed by some Rakshasa. So he's explaining in the Skanda Purana that actually they went back to Godhead. But this lady, his daughter, see, imagine, you lost your husband, your newly wedded husband, you lost your father. Just see the distress. Very distressful. And she took a vow, 2 vows. She would perform Vrata, Kartik Vrata, and these are incidents that happen in Treta Yuga, not in Kali Yuga, not even in Dwapara Yuga. It's mentioned in Skanda Purana, this incident happened in Treta Yuga. So, she was performing all of these vratas, austerities, during Kadasi and Kartik month. Now, at one time she became so frail because of austerity. You know, people perform austerities, then they're not eating properly and all these things, they become so frail. And she got sick. She went to the Ganga to bed, and every day in the morning she would go to the Ganga to bed, whether it is in the heat, in the winter. And winter during some parts of India during the winter, it could be very cold, especially places like Vrindavan. And this incident happened in Mayapur. Mayapur, they describe it as Mayapuri, it is present day Mayapur. So, she will go to the river to bathe, to the Ganga to bathe, even during the winter. Of course, Mayapur is not as cold during the winter as Vrindavan, but it's also cold in Mayapur. To go and bathe in the Ganga during the Mayapur, I cannot do it. I was in Mayapur for 2 consecutive years and 7 months. I can't try that. Because I would just think you're so much of trouble, you know. And this lady will do that every morning and every evening. So one time she went to take a bath in the Ganga, and then as she came out, there was some area craft that came around, and she bought an area craft, and then went back to God. And sometimes people think that women are less intelligent and women cannot go back to God, and that women are just meant for, to be used for anything. No. In fact, this planet is ruled by a woman. You know that? You know that this planet is ruled by a woman? You know that, right? Yeah. Even the whole universe. See, the world we're living in is like a prison. The universe is a material prison. And then even this universe is ruled by a woman, Durga. I see, in governance, in administration, one of the most sensitive areas that determines a nation's future is education. Education department. Now, the education department of this whole universe is manned by a woman. Saraswati. You hear this. Especially the men, you hear this. Because we always think that we are superior to the women, and women are just meant for subjugation and all this stuff. And the women also should hear this, so that inferiority complex sometimes to just lower your self-esteem and all these things. But you can really do more than what you do.
It's Papa too.
So, here we have education. This whole planet is ruled by a woman. The whole universe is ruled by a woman. Most sensitive positions in the material world, and even in the spiritual world. The mother of devotion. Who is it? What? Radharani. She's the best of all the devotees. In fact, Prabhupada mentions that in his poem, when he was aboard a Jaladuta to America, he wrote a poem. One of the verses, Prabhupada reiterated this point, how if someone is not able to please Radharani, they cannot attain Krishna. Krishna taba punya, habe ebai, e punya koribe, jabe Radharani kusihabe. Dhruva ati bole tonight. So, we need to understand that anyone who dedicates their lives, who puts in some energy in serving Krishna, especially during this month, you get the result. It describes that the results you get during the Kartik month, whatever service you do for Krishna and his pure devotees, whatever service you do, you get almost 1,000 times the result. And that's that's another chapter of story. A whole big story of why this month is so dear to Krishna. It's also documented in this kind of Skanda Purana. And so, when we talk about Kartik month, yes, we hear about the binding of Krishna with rope to a holding grandmother by his beloved mother. And even that, Krishna submitted himself out of love and affection. No one can catch Krishna. Nobody can catch Krishna. You remember how Krishna deceived this demon into the cave? Remember that demon?
1,
Huh?
2, 3.
So he tried to catch Krishna, and Krishna will walk. It seems he wants to catch Krishna, but then, he couldn't catch him. Huh? Yeah. Only they led him into the cave and got killed. So, no one can catch Krishna. But if he gives himself to you, it means you are very lovingly disposed towards him. And the only way we can really catch Krishna is to love him, is to serve him, unmotivatedly. That's what Mother Yasoda did. And even Nanda Maharaj sometimes would ask Krishna, go and bring my shoes. And Krishna, small boy, will go and pick Father's shoes, wooden shoes on his head. That's God, Krishna. The person that the yogis have to perform so much austerity. In other yogas, people perform austerity for thousands, tens of thousands of years. We can't live even up to 100 years healthily. So austerity is out of our way. But in this month, if we simply come together and chant Krishna's names, offer lamps to Krishna, we will attain so much of transformation. If we can't do it coming together in groups, we should do it at home with our families. Why the emphasis is on group and family members? Because when people do things as a team, the result is always greater than individuals doing that same thing and bringing the results together. This is the underlying principle of team spirit, of teamwork. And it's not just a religious dogma. It is a scientific model. It's called synergy. You could Google that up. SYNERGY. Synergy is a model, it's a management model that facilitates the working together of teams for greater productivity and innovation, strong performances. You know, most organizations, they emphasize on teams. It's because teamwork, the result is greater than individuals. And therefore, coming together to chant Krishna's name is very purifying. And the purification is reinforced when people come together. If individually you stay in your home or in your room and chant, you get purified. But when we come together, the purification is reinforced. Therefore, it is important for us to understand that this month is a special month. In India, in Vrindavan, this month is crowded. Very, very crowded. I am very sensitive to the dust. So this month, this period, I try to avoid Vrindavan. Because each time I go there during this period, I get really sick. All through the period. The dust could be so intense. Of course, you go to Vrindavan, you get some expedited purification. So we may say, well, someone gets sick, but this is a purification. Sometimes we undergo the purification and then we think, do I merit this? This is too much for me. So we should try to do something this month. Frankly speaking, if we're chanting one round, we should chant 2 rounds at least this month. Yes. What do you think is the most important thing you should not do in Kartik? Yes, can someone tell us? What are the things you think we should not do in Kartik? You must have read them from the literature, from the books. Yes, Bolo, Haribos, Pandits. Yes. What are the things we should not do in Kartik? Yes, this month of Kartik. If the men don't say anything, I will refer to the women. But then, if the women tell us something, then be submissive to your wives. Don't claim to be the ruler.
Do not waste time. Do not chastise. Find faults.
Do not find faults.
Do not sleep late. I mean, all the things that we should do, we should not.
Yeah. And this month, to add it up, thank you very much, Ram, to add it up, this month, for sex, whether it's licit or illicit, don't try it. Because it will destroy our marriage. Yeah. You can ask, what of those who don't know anything about it? Yeah, we're talking about those people who know about it. Our concern should be, first we should save ourselves, right? Yeah. Or someone will say, intoxication, what of those who don't know that intoxication creates retardation in moral upbringing? Well, don't be concerned so much about other people first. First, save yourself. If you save yourself, then you can stand strong to be able to save somebody else. So, the important thing is that Kartik is very, very important to Lord Krishna. And if you read the Skanda Purana, I think it's chapter 21 or something like that. I can't remember the exact chapter that I read those stories. But it's so rich and nourishing. The details. It's kind of, you see, the literature, the Vedic literature, that is people who do not have real intelligence, referred to as mythology, is just full of juice. It's just full of spiritual nourishment. You say it's mythology, but Vrindavan is there where Krishna had his pastimes. How is it mythology? Mythology means something that does not exist. Mathura is there where he took birth. So sometimes people use some terminologies, and because nobody is there to query them and question them about their wrong use of their terminology, they feel that they could go scotch-free. But it's a very wrong terminology when so-called scholars describe the Vedic literature as Indian mythology. It's just stupidity. So, for us, Lord Krishna is the be-all and end-all. And therefore, during this period, we should reflect and try to see whatever we can improve in. If we have not been reading regularly, this month we should read at least every day. If even it's one line of Prabhupada's books, just only one line, only one line, try it. Because you get about 1,000 times the benefits, the results, compared to other months. How many people here are chanting regularly 16 rounds every day? I chant 16 rounds every day. Let's see. Ladies? Okay. So for those who are not chanting, try to understand why we have to chant. Because in Kali Yuga, I met people who say, Maharaj, what about people who chant different mantras? Yes. All of the Vedic mantras, they are called mantras. Mantra means what do you call? Opposed a mantu. Opposed mantu is a word, it's a combination of two words or three words. Combination of one or two or more words. Is opposed mantu of man and tra. Man means bind and tra means to free. So, mantra according to Prabhupada, it means to some transcendental sound vibration that releases the mind from anxiety. So there are many mantras in the Vedic literature. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. In fact, people like great souls like Dhruva, it wasn't Hare Krishna mantra they chanted. They chanted some other mantra, but they attained liberation. But not Krishna Loka. The Hare Krishna mantra is for those who are in Madhurya Rasa. Those whose final destination is Goloka Vrindavan. Let's get these points clear. Even Vaishnavas, we have different traditions. We have those who worship Vishnu. They are also Vaishnavas. But those who worship Radha and Krishna, they are candidates for ascension to Goloka Vrindavan. And therefore, this Hare Krishna mantra is an exceptional magnanimity of the Lord that is meant to help us expedite our process of purification and getting out from this material world. Some people don't even know there is another place that we can go. And it's like someone who is in the forest, in the dense forest, in some dense forest, and doesn't know that it's the city. They're born in the dense forest, they don't know that's a city. So, someone who is in that situation may not know that's a city, but they may be lucky that they get some understanding. But we are not in dense forest. We are exposed to a lot of information culture.
Wow.
Therefore, we should utilize what we have. Krishna gave us big brains. For what? To understand who we are, our relationship with Krishna, and at the end of this life, be able to attain that merit required for ingress into the spiritual world. So Lord Chaitanya was very merciful. He's still very merciful. He left a legacy of this Hare Krishna mantra. I have been chanting this mantra for 40 years. Some people have been chanting it for 50 years, 60 years. They are not stupid. They are not stupid. You know, all of these white people in America, some of these proper disciples, they've been chanting this mantra for 60 years. They are not stupid. You think they're stupid? Especially this month, we should take advantage. We should do something to help ourselves. If we can just chant in this month, we can just be serious in this month. Take up the process. If we have more chanting, we should try to chant at least one round. One round. Because then our purpose of human existence would have been met. Otherwise, see, life is so dicey. In this country, you're the president of the country. The next moment, you became a felon waiting for sentencing. And we've seen it. This is not philosophy. We've seen it. You can be a billionaire. And the next moment, you became a felon. So nothing is guaranteed in this world. It's only Krishna consciousness that is guaranteed. So let's take advantage. This Kartik month, we should take advantage. Help to improve on our lives. Are there some comments or some questions? It's a simple talk. Beg your pardon? Is that some question?
That was just some from the phone. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Any comments or questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Thank you for the lecture, Prabhu. It was really nice. I wanted to ask, it just popped out in my mind, in my head, that what's the meaning of gender in spiritual world?
Gender.
Yeah. Why do we need to separate a male and female? Like here, I think that it's needed for reproduction.
Mm-hmm.
But why is it why do we say man and woman in spiritual world?
Man and woman in the spiritual world. There are men and women in the spiritual world.
Right? But why do we need the separation?
Man and women in the spiritual world. You mean here in the material world or in the spiritual world?
In the spiritual world.
In the spiritual, have you been there? How do you know that it's separated? Just joking. See, in the spiritual world, just like we have you ever been to Vrindavan?
Yes, Prabhu.
In India. Yeah, Vrindavan is just a replica of the spiritual world. In other words, there is also family life in the spiritual world, because those who are in the Madhurya areas, for instance, they have Krishna. Some of the people, some of the devotees, they relate to Krishna as gopis or as girlfriends. Some are relating to Krishna like we have Nanda Maharaj, are relating to him as a father. When we become purified and go back to Godhead, that original relationship becomes fully manifest. So yes, in the spiritual world, the distinction and the variegatedness is also there. But the difference is that everybody is accountable to Krishna. Everybody struggling to serve Krishna. They don't fight. You don't quarrel. You don't find fault. Everybody is supporting the other person to serve Krishna better. So yes, there are different genders in the spiritual world. That's why we have different genders here. The problem is that the different genders here, we tend to have gender bias. In the spiritual world, there's no gender bias. In fact, the gopis are considered the most revered devotees of the Lord. In the material world, we try to exploit the women. 17 years old boy can walk across the whole world without being disturbed by anybody. A 35 years old woman cannot do it. She'll be harassed. Just because I'm a woman. In America, I know some states, I don't want to mention the states, but as a research fellow, I know some states in America that a man and a woman, they have the same degrees. They work in the same office, the same job descriptions. They paid differently. So we discriminate. This is because we lack spiritual understanding. And therefore, apart from spiritual awareness creating an avenue for elevation to the spiritual world, it could also bring about a balance in society. Therefore, we just don't physically separate people, but we create an enabling environment where people will care for each other. As Krishna mentioned in the Gita, Mama Evam So Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. That everyone is his part and parcel.
The other
I
one?
was in Canada. One boy who was taking some young devotees around for Harinam Sankirtan. He came to Montreal. I was in Montreal at the time. They're from Toronto. So the leader, he came to me and asked, Maharaj, what can I do to help these young devotees in their devotional life for us to have a proper team spirit, love each other very nicely? Sir Prabhupada. I said, oh, I have the answer. He said, tell me. I said, see, these boys, they sacrifice their lives. They sacrifice their education. They sacrifice their social life and everything for Prabhupada. Treat them the way you love your beloved younger sibling. Love them like that. You know what he told me? This one is not even gender stuff. This same man, he's finding it difficult to show them love. You know, he told me, he looked right into my face and said, Maharaj, this is very difficult. I said, what is difficult? We preach every day, we are not this body, we are part and parcel of Krishna. It's just a matter of putting this part and parcel of Krishna into practice. We say, when we quote this verse, we are saying, we are in the same family. We are brothers and sisters. So, we should care and love each other. Mama, even so, Krishna is claiming, every one of you, you are my children. So what is difficult in brothers and sisters loving each other? But he said, Maharaj, this is very difficult. So application, it boils down to application. We may hear, Pashyana Pina Pashyati. We may see, we may hear, but how to put it into practice is so difficult for us. But we need to practice how to put it into practice. Then we'll be able to attain some realizations. Does it make some sense? Are you okay now?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Annie, what's the time now?
8:45.
What time are we supposed to stop? Now. We've crossed the line already.
No, not really.
I don't want to cross lines when I'm giving the talk, Of course, in India it's different. In India, when you're giving a talk in some class, and he asks them that, what time are we supposed to start this class? They say, oh, Bharat, you're not in America, just go on. we are time conscious because people have there's a lot of things they have to do and they sacrifice their precious time to come to participate so we don't tie them down. Yes, any other last comment or questions?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So Maharaj, you were talking about reading every day. So
Mhm.
is reading equal to listening? Because sometimes I get more time to just listen in because I can do other chores simultaneously.
Sure.
So is
Reading,
it
reading and listening, they're more or less the same thing. But if you're reading, you are also listening. You are listening, you are not reading. You get the point?
yes. Yes, Maharaj.
You are reading, you're actually listening subtly. There is a connection with the whole system, with your auditory meatus too. But if you are listening, the physical ears are at work and auditory meatus is also at work. But it's a little difference, but it's very good. Especially these days, we don't have excuses because we may be doing so much services, so much activities. You see, for instance, I know one of my disciples, she does 3 jobs. She's a lawyer, she has a PhD, but she does 3 jobs. Yeah, so how can someone do work like that and be able to also read? And then the point is that we give, that is every opportunity for us to chip out some time to do something regarding
You have to give it nicely.
reading and hearing. Now, why we need to read? Why? Because the reading of the literature, the books, the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, they are the book Bhagavad. There's a personality Bhagavad. That's Lord Krishna. The book Bhagavad is not different from the personality Bhagavad. And this is also mentioned by Lord Vishnu in his conversation with Lakshmiji in the Gita Mahatmya. In the discussion between Lakshmi and Vishnu, Lord Vishnu mentioned that the Bhagavad Gita is not different from him. And so when we're reading the Bhagavad Gita, we are actually worshipping Lord Vishnu with our intelligence. And we get the purification. The more we read, the more we have better concentration in chanting. The more we serve, the more we have better concentration in chanting. All the services that we do is to facilitate a better listening, a better chanting with concentration. All the services that we do is to just come to that point where we can chant purely. When Bhakti Siddhanta was on the planet, one of his disciples won't do any service. He would just chant, and then some devotees went to complain to him that this devotee, he doesn't do any service, you know. And he said, if you can also chant like him, I will excuse you from doing any service. Yeah. So, yeah, hearing is very good. I remember when I was young, I was serving on tour Korea, and I was preparing for some exams also sometime. And the whole period I would be on the altar, like, for a very long time, from morning till like after class. It gave me opportunity to hear the whole of the Bhagavad Gita lectures, okay? Because I was plugging and hearing. So hearing is very good. It gives you an opportunity to be able to explore different ways to enrich your encephalon, to enrich your knowledge base in devotional service. Yes, so there are so many things we can do with modern technology. Technology is not bad. It's how people use it that determines the quality of the technology. We can use it to enhance our devotion. Why not? So all of these smartphones and gadgets, they're there. I think for me, I've practically seen, I don't go to libraries for my research and all those things. And, I can be at home and just do my research without going to libraries. So modern technology. But the same technology has caused the loss of job for so many people. Has caused students to fail out from college. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen people who fail out from college because of modern technology, smartphone and internet. I've seen people who lost their jobs because of smartphone and internet. So yeah. So we have to meticulously use what we have at our disposal for certain purpose mission. All right, I think we have to stop here. What do you think? Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Better late than never.
It's okay.